Hi guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. I do hope you're doing well. This is the first one technically. It's not done yet, but it's Scandals with Shan sitting in the new area. What do we think? Obviously, we are very lonely here. We only have 2 crime books because the rest of my crime books are all packaged away. So I need to sort that out. And I also need to sort out the positioning because I've got my coffins here. And you can't see my coffin. So I don't quite know if we've got to put you back further so then you'll see a bit more of the white warm contrast. I'm not entirely sure yet, guys, but yeah, it is the first Scandals with Shan without the green screen. The green screen will not be going away. I'm sure we will have plenty use for the green screen next year, but I can't lie, guys, I am so comfy in this seat, and I've just realised I actually look quite small in this seat. Oh, nothing that a cushion. Now I look like Frodo with that on the back. A cushion, a throw. So I definitely feel like I'll be putting you more over there for these types of videos, so you can get like the whole setup. We'll have a candle. It's still a work in progress, guys, okay? But this month, this was actually supposed to be October, and Shannon ran out of time, so there will be 2 Scandals with Shan this month. And this one is about the Menendez brothers. So I'm sure everyone and anyone has been seeing this all over the news because it's all sparked from a Netflix documentary. If you remember, Netflix done a series called Monster, and it was about Jeffrey Dahmer. They have now since released another one about the Menendez brothers, and there is a 3rd one coming next year with Ed Gein. But from the back of this, the Menendez brothers, it has sparked controversy. They have done their own little documentary with Netflix explaining their side. Their trials are being reheard. There's even the possibility that they're going to be getting parole. So, as always, I asked over on my Instagram, AllThingsShannonLeighxx, that will be down in the descriptions box below, and also via email. If you want to drop me an email, it's down there as well. And as I say, what I will do every month, whether it be a Scandals, a sit down, a bang, confessions, anything like that, I send it out to you all. It's all blind copies, so no one's inundated with everyone's reply, and everything remains anonymous on these. So, Shannon Lee, shall we get into the Menendez brothers? And Canon, you're testing me. You're already flashing. Good job. You can't see it down here. I have another battery to change into. Be right back. Here we go. Apologies if the angle has changed slightly because I had to change it. So, the Menendez brothers. I haven't actually seen the Netflix documentary yet, or the series. We was going to watch it over holiday, but kind of would have ruined the holiday vibes, I think. So we have that yet to watch. We're currently watching Brassic, and then everyone has said Gangs of London, and then Dan wants to watch the holiday vlog. So it could be we end up watching the Menendez brothers, which is like a horror true crime series over Christmas. Which, come on, let's face it, there's probably going to be true crime the whole time in this house. So potentially that could be a vibe. But the Menendez brothers, I tried not to read too much into the Netflix series because the reviews that I've heard, a lot of people have said good, a lot of people have said bad. Some have said that it's very fabricated in some parts. There's allusions to maybe incestual behaviour, which the brothers apparently profusely deny. And there's a few things that they try and perhaps twist and turn the events, and it makes it seem like it was a lot more sinister than what it was. So I've not really looked too much into that. I think, if anything, I will probably watch the documentary from the brothers first. And they've apparently done like a 1-part, like, I think it's an hour and a half to 2 hours, basically just putting their side across. So I feel like I'm going to watch that maybe before the series. But if any of you guys have seen the Netflix series, please do let me know down below. Is it worth a watch? And what you thought of it without giving away any spoilers. That is what I would like. Now, I'm trying to get comfy here, guys, because it's a very big chair and I don't have my cushions or throws or anything just yet. So I feel like I do look really small in this, don't I? I might actually have to sit forward on just while I get used to it. There we go. So I asked over on my Instagram and email, just what do we think of it? Have we seen the Netflix series? How do we feel about the whole scenario? And do we think what they done was just deserved? I'm also just going to bring up just the facts of it, because the case has now been reopened. As I say, there's a trial that is going to be happening of potentially they could be getting parole. Where are we? Eric and Lyle Menendez, who were convicted murderers, who are convicted murderers, we should say, killed their parents, Jose and Mary Louise Menendez, aka Kitty. Now, I saw something on TikTok from their mum's sister, and then they were saying about the amount of family members and people that had come forward at the trial and said that things weren't right, but that evidence was almost dismissed off, which, I mean, is quite concerning, because if you have family members there and friends and teachers, you would think that there would be some form of evidence, but apparently it was all disregarded. So Joseph was the eldest. He was born January the 10th, 1968, and Eric was born November the 27th, 1970. So he was 2 years older than him, and they committed the murders in 1989. Now, when I see the photos of them now, I feel nothing but sadness for Lyle. Lyle looks so almost, I don't know, he just seems very troubled. Like, it's almost like he's hiding this pain. So they call Lyle because he was Joseph Lyle, and then Eric was Eric Gallen Menendez. There was apparently ideas that they was doing it for money, but this is what they've profusely said, absolutely not. And yeah, the parents with a 12 gauge shotgun, that was what they did. Now, let me get your guys' things up. So someone says, I find it a strange case, and for some reason I believe the younger brother but not the older brother. So they did say, from what I've been reading on articles, that one brother seems to be a lot more calculated, whereas the other one was maybe more naive and susceptible to be misled. From the Netflix series, from what I gather, they portray it more as a joint accomplice, but in real life they was trying to make out that it was one of the older brother? Yes, the older brother who kind of instigated it. And in terms of the abuse, I believe there was some misalignment as to what they believed was true and what was actually correct. I saw a clip from the courtroom of one of the brothers, and he was saying him and his brothers went to the woods and he'd done an act there because that was how their dad had said you show love. And from an outsider looking in, you would think any normal person would know that that isn't correct behaviour, but if it's been instilled in them from so young and that's what they believed, that's the right way, that's how you love, that's how their dad taught them, it's almost like they was brainwashed from such a young age. And bizarre facts of when the dad would bath one of the boys, no one was allowed on that entire floor of the house. So say for example it was the second floor, no one could be on that floor when he was bathing one of the children. They also said that certain things corresponded. There was a toilet bucket by one of the boys' bed, and that corroborated when he said he was too scared to go to the toilet because he didn't want to get out of his bed at night in case his dad took it. And I think the most shocking thing is that the mother was aware of all of this, and she adamantly said to her therapist that she didn't like her children and she knew that things were going on. So why would you not stop that? I feel sometimes in those instances, was he perhaps abusive sexually towards the mother, and in a sadistic way it's kind of like it's rather them than me? I don't know, I do feel it's very, very, very strange on that. One of my lovelies says, I keep swapping and changing, but I will say I do think that they were SA'd, sadly. I think there's no hesitation towards the facts that them boys were assaulted, and there was drawings and letters that I believe it was the older brother wrote, and they showed them in court, I believe, and just absolutely nothing. Nothing was taken from it, nothing was looked into, the words weren't looked into, the drawings weren't looked into. And yet from an outsider, you would see that and think, that's a troubled child. Like, that's someone screaming out for help. You would surely look at that and think that's not right. But yeah, it's all swings and roundabouts, my lovelies. It's just, I think the judicial system has come a hell of a lot since when the boys were trialled. It seems to have been, perhaps it was portrayed as two boys, rich boys, wanting mum and dad out of the way, and this story was concocted. And the evidence that was put towards them, it was just like batted off and not given a regard. Like, it was disregarded completely. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I do need to watch that series. I do. It's finding the time, guys, because I believe, is it 8 or 10 episodes, and they're approximately an hour. Oh my goodness, did you just see my belly? I'm so sorry if you heard that. I will feed you later. It's growling because I'm not really eating much today. You know, when you're in one of them moods and even just the smell of food, I'm like, whoop, no, it's not for me. One of my lovelies says, 100% they need to be released now. They have served their time. So they was both in prison to life. And from what I gather, how long have they actually served currently? Because I know they were sentenced in 1996 to 2 consecutive terms of life without parole. So 06, 16, 26. Next year, they would have served 29 years. Wow. That could be like a third of their life. Do you think, because this was one of the questions I asked, that do you think like they've served their time now? This lady says 100% they've served it. They need to be released for the acts that they endured and the acts that they had to, in essence, deal with. Do you think that the sentence has been served? Do you think they should still be punished for what happened when they were younger? Another one of my lovely says, the physical, sexual and the emotional abuse that they went through, well justified. So this is the thing, when you have cases like this, you will have people who say, no, it is wrong, they murdered their parents. And then you have people who say, but hold on, you need to look. I think I like to think I'm impartial, but for me, of course, murder and that is not the way to go. But if them boys, as I say, I will watch the series and that, if they was reaching out and giving signs and questions that something wasn't right and people was just ignoring it, family, friends, teachers, just disregarding it all, there's going to come a point where they will snap. And I think when you have the bonds like brothers, it's the protectiveness of, if something's or someone is hurting one of them and then it conspires that actually it's doing it to both, they could potentially come to forces, or one might take it upon themselves to deal with the issue. I think if what they've endured of what I read is correct, shame on the people that knew and didn't act upon it. And do I think they have served their time? Yes. I think in instances like that, you can't be held accountable for the rest of your life of situations that you'd had no control of. I saw a case the other day and it infuriated me. A lady had been a victim of domestic abuse from her partner for, I think it was about 12, 13 years. And it would be regular occurrences and she would call the police and the police would just come and caution. There was nothing ever solid. And they split up and she called the police and she said, like, he's stalking me, he's outside the house. And the police said, we cannot do anything until he enters your home. If you called the police and said someone is stalking me, that's fine, but wait till they come into your home. That completely baffles me. Anyway, this lady, she called them and she was like, he's outside my house. And they said he's not doing anything wrong, like he's loitering. And she tried and they wouldn't come. And I believe he gained entry. There was an altercation and she ended up killing him. And this lady then got sent down for murder, or it might have been manslaughter. I feel they tried for murder because they said she intended to do it. but they put it down as manslaughter because they said she was trying to defend herself. But you know when you think, hold on a minute, this lady's endured 12, 13 years. No authorities have helped her. She has come in a position where it was life or death. She's made an act to protect herself and her life. And then she was facing a murder or manslaughter charge. That is where I think the jury system is a little bit wacko. I might get unpopular opinions on this, but if you're almost condoning and allowing what happened to that lady to be like, yep, you've gone through it, but actually what you've done is bad, like you've gone a step too far. How about the repeated times that it went too far with her? Like, she had hospital records upon hospital records, going in, broken bones, fractured, bleeding, internal bleeding. Like, she was getting beaten severely and no one seemed to do anything. And that really baffles me and it really angers me, and it's probably going to be another Scandals or a sit down with Shan. But I just think, how can the system then turn around and say, nope, you've been bad, you're going to get banged up now, and let's just ignore over a decade's worth of police files and hospital visits, and even to the day of the incident, someone calling you being like, hello, I need help, he's here, something's going to happen, and then when something does happen, they don't want to know. Whew, that could be a whole nother, I get really het up on something like that. One of my lovelies says, the whole thing confused me. Did the father actually do the horrific things? I guess we will never know. What do you think of the series? And hope you, Mummy G and Dan are all okay. My beautiful lady, big hugs, love you. Thank you, big hugs and lots of love to you back. As I say, I haven't watched the series yet, so are we saying now the series could potentially cause some controversy as to if the dad actually done it? Oh, okay, I feel like I might have to start watching this a bit sooner than I thought, because I'm like, pardon me now, I'm going to have things. Oh God, guys. I am so sorry. I am so sorry for that. It has been an absolutely manic day. It's currently 8:15 on a weekday night. I've come back from work. We've been doing a bit of DIY. Now I was like, I need to film, and then we're going to have dinner and we're going to jump in bed. Typical evening, eh? And we will round it out. There is 2 from my lovely here. She says, these boys, well, men now, could have been going through stuff that no one will ever know about. More to it, Shannon, the family have obviously done something regardless of their wealth. And now Netflix comes out, so obviously someone is questioning the truth of this. A lot of innocent people do go to jail, but some people can only take so much as well. Also, like domestic violence and abuse, a lot of people decide enough is enough, and who knows, it's a tough one. However, they should be released and get help. Look at Madeleine McCann, with their parents giving her the sleeping medication, went out and left her, and if that was anyone else, we would have had social services in our lives. They got away with the neglect because he was a top doctor, and it also goes wrong a lot in families, i.e. abuse all the time. Obviously, I don't believe in murder, but if something bad happened to these boys, fair play for them for killing their parents, if this is what happened, as it was sadistically evil. So I do believe, I've heard that the family was very, very wealthy. So do we think that when people have wealth, they seem to think that they can just kind of like buy their way out of anything, or kind of like silence people, which I don't think should be the be all and end all. It doesn't matter what type of money you have. If what you're doing is wrong, you need to be held accountable. I'm just looking because there was one I remember we done, and who, you know what you're saying about the people being rich? Who remembers the Scandals, Shan? Oh my God, that was a year ago. The murders. And that was the dad and the boy. They were being sentenced for the mum and the brothers shooting. And again, they was this big wealthy family. I think there was lawyers in the area, and people was like, yeah, no, that would never happen to them. Did they buy their way out of it? could be like this, because I also heard that the dad of the Menendez was something to do within the music record industry, something to do because all of this hip hop drama. Clive, there's a man called Clive who is apparently the record producer and owner of everything, but the Menendez brothers' dad was something to do with him or even higher. Now I saw cases had this all started with the P. Diddy and all that scandal back in these days. So it's a very big controversial topic. Guys, that shocked me that was a year ago. And I'm looking at this, I've stuck to the theme of black, apart from one day, for some reason, I was in a Barbie snuddy. Really killing the black vibe there. But every single video, I've been in black. I actually need to stock up on a black wardrobe. Just random. I want like t-shirts with like skulls on, and Shan is going to be my best friend, let me tell you that. That and Etsy. Just like true crime, skulls, maybe tarot, stars and galaxies. Just something black with a little bit of design on. But yeah, I do like to keep it all black for this vibe. And as I say, looking at this, you can tell where I got the green screen. And I actually used to do this with makeup on, guys. I do apologise that I've let myself go, because look, you're looking at me like this now. But yes. Oh, okay. Right, big ideas, guys. And that, my lovelies, is the end of Menendez. But I do a very, very happy birthday to Jess, who is turning 24 on the 7th of November. Now, I don't know when this is going up. I don't know if it's going up on the 7th or the day before. Please forgive me if it has gone up after. It wouldn't have gone up after, Shannon. Make sure it's up beforehand. It might actually be on your birthday, which if it is, I don't know what you're doing watching me on your birthday. You want to be out there partying. And also, if it's before, I've managed to do it. And it's just a little message to say that your nan would be ever, ever so proud. And my thoughts are going out to you and mama. Mwah, mwah, mwah. My lovelies, if you did enjoy the video, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below. Leave me a comment. Have you seen the series? What are we thinking of the Menendez brothers? And any topics you think I should cover for next year? Because Scandals with Shan, I mean, we've got a whole setup now. This is staying. Could we do another series with this? Keep me updated, guys. I've got all these ideas, but I need someone to be like, bish, bash, bosh, done. Take care, stay safe as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!